Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop role-playing games. Today we're going to be doing the third installment of the Space Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu in Space anthology that I have been running. Very much looking forward to digging back into it. Everybody is playing returning characters from either the first or second game, so yes, it's going to be lots of fun. We're using Call of Cthulhu 7th edition rules, but yeah, brought into a modern or slightly postmodern setting. Cool. Before we get started, promo stuff, other things we do on the channel on Monday nights, but not tomorrow, but back next week. We do Vessen, Mythic Britain and Ireland. I run that, and everybody playing today plays in that. Yeah, if you are watching for the first time and enjoy our faces and voices, then please come back next Monday for Vessen. Wednesdays we have Simba Room, and alternating Thursdays I think we have the Big Wet and Wicked ones. Please come join us on our Discord, which is linked below, or our social media to keep up to date with when things are and the odd time that we have to reschedule or cancel things. Those are the best places to get that information up to date. There is also a link to our YouTube below where you can catch up on everything that we've ever done on the channel, and also our Patreon. So if you enjoy what we do and want to support us, you can do so there. I think that is everything, and I haven't given anybody an order that people will come on screen, so let's bring on first Justin. Let's bring Justin on first. Hi, Justin. Oh, you're very quiet.
How's it going now? That should be
Much
better
now. Yes, significantly.
Yeah. Goodness me. Terrible thing. It's the start of a horror already. Right. Anyway,
give us a recap
obviously
on
great.
Andrew Moore, please.
Andrew Moore. He is a pilot, having in the last few years had a mixed successful space launch. He's an astronaut now, I guess. Been to the moon, and otherwise, definitely fine, definitely not seriously disturbed by the dangers of space and the things that he's seen. That's really the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, and he is a very skilled pilot.
Well,
also is the main...
yes. Let's go with skilled.
As skilled as the UK Space Agency can
afford.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Let's bring on John, who is playing the only character from the first Space Cthulhu game, Mark Dinning. Can you give us a little... Well, actually, from both, technically. If you could give us a little recap on Din, John, please.
Din is an ex-army squaddy with a focus in like the medical wing of it. Not a full doctor, but more of a emergency medic. He left because of the culture didn't suit him, and joined UK Space Base and had one space mission on a spaceship, which went strange, but it was totally fine and clearly just a bout of communal space madness. And then he went on another mission to the moon, and that went strange, but was fine and was clearly just a bout of communal space madness. So last, the camera, the audience, and the rest of the players saw him. He'd locked himself inside of a lunar base. He apparently just, eventually decided he didn't want to die on the moon and came back and has spent some time away on medical administrative leave, and it's all fine, and he's totally ready to get back at it. He's ready. It's fine. It can't go wrong again.
Third time's the charm, right? Third time's the charm.
UK space base is so desperate for employees.
Cool. Yeah. Let's bring Steve on, please. Who's playing Alex Gilman again? Hey, Steve.
Hello.
Yeah, a little recap on Alex, please.
This is such a mess. So Alex is a doctor and was on the second mission sent to the moon to rescue the people from the first mission. Alex was fairly new to space travel at that point, so was kind of nervous, a little bit paranoid, you know, wanted to ensure that nobody ran off with the spaceship, you know, before we got back, that sort of thing. I mean, we got home safely. We didn't really achieve any of the objectives that we've been given. We didn't. No, we did. We rescued one person. We rescued one person, Eric Flynn Evans. But yeah, there was a whole question as to whether, you know, there were doppelgangers, you know, body snatchers on the moon, and also the whole internal sea with the great black crown and something, and the city of the dead that was there. So Alex is kind of a bit of a, well, I don't know. He's still, you know, finding work is hard. He's still working for UK base. Not perhaps sure what to think about the other people on the mission and who's who and, you know, the state of the world. But it's a job, steady paycheck. So just trying to carry on. Maybe popping a few more pills than perhaps, you know, perhaps he should be. Probably going to the the stash and the medical stash and self-medicating a bit.
Great, thanks, Steve. Let's bring on Inga, who is playing definitely Sam Parker.
Yep. Firstly, fucking heartbreaking, Steve. Like, oh no. But yeah, no, Sam is a mechanic, but soldier, and was super excited. Like, going to space, that was the dream. That was, like, you know, kid's dream made reality. Everything she'd kind of worked for. Totally normal mission. Everything went super normal. Yeah, a bit of a weird one. She wasn't able to convince Mark to come home, left it, which is a bit weird. And Sam has definitely come back the same as how she went. Maybe not. I guess we'll find out. Maybe something about what's happened here. We'll find out soon. But she's very much still with UK based. She's literally soldiering on and doing her duty, and following orders and doing any missions assigned to her.
Cool, yeah. Thank you. So you all, either at your home or on the base, if that's where you are, I'm leaving it up to you, receive a memo which says UK base requires all addressed to attend meeting at 3 p.m. GMT on Sunday, 3rd of December. So this is 2025 in-game. Meeting to discuss search for water in our solar system following research into declining usable water on Earth. Possible collaboration with other space agencies required due to the enormity of the issue. I expect you all there. Air Chief Marshal Harriet Roberts. So you all have your own relationships with the Air Chief Marshal from previous missions and work. Worth noting as well that you would all be aware of this sort of rough timeline. So December 2022 was Mark Dinning's what is described within UK base as the UK Orb Space Station anomaly, by which they mean the few second drop in communication that is what UK base experienced between it and the space station. October 2023 is the rescue mission to the moon. And then early 2024, there was an initial attempt at a manned mission to Mars, which you know to have been a failure. And the 4 people on board were basically no communication was, communication with them stopped. So they are missing, presumed dead. Late 2024, there was a successful manned landing on Mars. And the astronauts who went are still there, doing scientific. They took months worth of supplies, so they have. They are spending some time there, and now we are 3rd of December, 2025. Sorry, 2nd of December, 2025. So you have until tomorrow afternoon to attend this meeting. So where are you all? Is everyone on base? Is anyone not?
On base for me.
Yeah, I'll be on base. Yeah. Home life has probably been a little bit difficult for a year or so.
Yeah. Same, probably looking over, I don't know, pieces of machinery, pieces of gear, flight stuff, seeing how that stuff all works. Yep, look at it, go, yep. That'll do. Those Mark IIIs have really improved to the moon.
Alex is probably reading dodgy forums about weird events, sightings.
On the work computers. That's brave.
As if
UK
these guys they're not together enough to monitor our internet.
Din will be in the base gym.
Okay.
He's, returning to active duty, and he's trying to get back into proper physical shape. And his therapist has told him that exercise is very important for maintaining good mental health. So, he's in the gym, as he is most nights.
You all have essentially pages for when you're on base. So you receive that communication via that essentially. So, and you are expected to have them wherever you are. So Din would receive it while in the gym, unless anybody is breaking protocol and not taking it with them anywhere. But theoretically, you receive this 24 hours before the meeting is due to take place.
I was going to say, Sam's probably just working out. So if we're at the same, I don't know whether Sam and Mark would have met previous, or because I don't think Sam ever really got a good look at Mark, whether she'd know who he was, recognize him, have heard he had got back. Presumably that would have been quite big news.
You would definitely hear he had got back, and then it's up to you. You could easily have sort of looked at files to see what he looked like. It would have been in the paper as well as a sort of miraculous return.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether we'd have crossed paths then, even if it's just at the gym or through other official mission-y things.
I don't think I would have recognized you from our encounter because you were wearing a spacesuit.
Yeah.
So I probably wasn't reading the news much after I got back immediately. So it is up to you on whether either we've run into each other or if you have approached me.
Oh, would I have approached you? I think I would recognize you.
I was on leave, not on base, for quite a while after I got back.
Yeah. Well, let's say that maybe we haven't run into each other before, but we're running into each other now. Or maybe I see you in the gym and I recognize you, but I'll maybe not approach. I'll quite work out if I've clocked you and be having a little think about what that means to myself.
Cool. Anybody doing anything before they attend this meeting? like anything specific? I'm sure you will do something in the 24 hours, but anything.
I guess if I ask around the people, the higher ups that I know, does anyone have any idea what this meeting could be about?
Why don't you make me the first roll of the game, Justin?
Doubtful.
Charmita.
Charmita.
That'll do. Something like some interpersonal skill. It's up to you. Depends how you want to get it out of them.
Well,
Intimidate, obviously.
computer use, first aid, navigate this social situation. I'm not bad at that. I've got persuade.
Firearms.
That's my best option, so I might go for that. But I do not get. I got a 49 and I need to get under 30. So
okay. Yeah, you ask who you think is your best bet. And they say, what do you mean? I've not heard about this.
Right.
No, seriously, Morag. What are you talking about?
Maybe I misremember. Maybe was it not a general email? Maybe it was up for next week. I'll probably for next week. I'm thinking of. I'm sure the message will come through.
Right, you are, he says, and he's taken out his pager and kind of hitting it against his hand.
We'll go check out those Mark IIIs. Wander off.
Hopefully that message didn't start with highly confidential, top secret, something like that. Have you guys seen this?
I mean, yeah, even that's going to happen. Even if in a real workplace, that's going to happen.
Cool. Are any of you interacting with each other? Like, are you still do you think you would interact with each other before the meeting?
Oh, do we know that we're all invited to the meeting? Do we know who? No,
Not unless you discuss that with each other.
I think but we're bound to bump into each other, and I'm at least, I think that I can get everyone else's vibe that maybe spending time together reminds us of terrifying times, and therefore we don't do a lot of it. But at least a knowing nod every now and then. That's Moore's level.
Yeah, I think that seems reasonable.
I was gonna say, because I think Parker and Moore knew each other before the last mission. So if we're around and we know that we're around, I would maybe kind of rather than mentioning the mission, maybe mention that I'm pretty sure I saw Din in the gym as a bit of a remember that weird mission that we had kind of.
Yeah.
That we all had together from beginning to end.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't talked to him.
I don't think he recognized me. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't want to approach him, but yeah, it's kind of weird seeing it. I mean, it was weird enough seeing the pictures and stuff in the papers, but actually seeing him here and on base, it's very weird times again.
Yeah, I think Alex will be sort of, I don't know quite what he spent his 2 years doing. He'll have been a bit distant, so he'll sort of keep up to date with what other people are doing, but a bit isolated, a bit distant. We'll say hello in the canteen when surrounded by other people, but probably a little bit quiet and reserved.
Okay. Shall we cut forward to the meeting? If nobody has anything else. So, yeah, sort of just before 3 o'clock rolls around. I'm assuming you're all attending. Very, very superior officer has demanded your. So unless you want court martialing, and you probably attend. So you go to the Air Chief Marshal's office. Are you like sort of showing up a little early? Do you think some of you may bump into each other outside before you?
Yeah, that's quite possible.
On time is late. Early is on
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll say a couple of minutes before you all arrive and kind of, yeah, meet up with each other outside the door to her office.
Quick knowing look at Moore and eyes to Din.
It's like it, like Moore's like shaking his head, like this is nothing that can bring all three of us together or four of us together is good. That's kind of the expression.
Is there anyone else? Is it just us four?
Just you four.
I give everyone a polite nod, clearly recognizing none of you.
From inside, you hear a, well, come on in then.
In we go.
There are 4 seats lined up in front of the Air Chief Marshal's desk. And she's sitting and says, please take a seat.
Okay. Sit down, I suppose.
Yeah.
I will take one on the edge.
Good to see you all again. Parker, Moore, Gilman, this is Dinning. Dinning, Parker, Moore, and Gilman. How would you three have told her that you had spoken to Dinning on the moon? In your
We
I
did
think it was in the
relay-
messages. I think we
Right,
did
okay.
say we'd spoken
Yeah.
to him and he didn't want to come back at that time. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so she says, obviously you've sort of met before. Dinning, from my understanding, you may or may not recall that, but these 3 let us know that you were still out there.
Dinning has visibly tensed, but sort of relaxes and nods.
Right then. You'll all be aware that we've had a successful manned mission to Mars. The folks are still out there doing what they do. And all is well, don't worry, not another rescue mission. However, as always happens with these things, the boundaries need to be pushed. As I said in my memorandum, there was some research recently that, well, we think in the next 3 decades, the amount of usable water on the planet will dip well below the population level requirements. The nearest place that, well, closest, damn it, we can confirm that there is usable water is Europa, one of the moons of Jupiter. We need you to go there.
So are we planning training for a mission in 2 or 3 years' time, or
I'm
is it going
afraid
to be a
not.
longer runway?
It's rather more pressing than that. More
pressing. 100 days, a year.
I can give you a week, but ideally less.
Is this the project that's being worked on in relative secret the last few months? There's been a lot of moving around in hangars of machinery.
Yes. Some of that may have been the well, we've got a state-of-the-art cryogenics unit. Not tested in outer space, but tested in zero gravity for days at a time, and well, it seems to be doing the job. It's the reason that it's more pressing than the timeframes that you gave is based on the trajectories that our astronomers have created. You may well be aware more that the expected time of travel to Europa changes between 2 to 6 years, depending on where it is in Jupiter's orbit and where Jupiter is in relation to us around its orbit of the Sun. If we leave now, we will catch it at its closest point. Otherwise, the journey becomes much longer. So yes, I'm afraid it does need to be quite soon. Quite soon.
What is the nature of the mission, ma'am? If you said water's been confirmed there, are we?
Obviously, until one sets foot somewhere, you can't really confirm something. It's everything that we say about the composition of other celestial bodies is really 99.9% until we go there ourselves. But yes, it's believed to be a thick ice crust with liquid water underneath. So we're not even sure yet on whether we are planning to try and create some kind of hospitable environment there, or return the liquid water to Earth. So we're not sure, but we need to confirm this before we can start making further plans firmly, I suppose.
It's a scientific mission to confirm what's there, and presumably there'll be a scientific briefing with some, I don't know, readings or data that you'll need to make these decisions. Is that?
Yes, we'll be providing you with all the relevant tooling, and they're really very much aim and shoot. Nothing too complex on there for anyone. You have been selected as a group as people who have already spent a reasonable amount of time outside the Earth's atmosphere, or indeed on another celestial body. This sounds perhaps quite cheesy, but genuinely, your planet needs you.
Understood, ma'am.
Sorry, Din, you were going to say.
I was just wondering, what is the timescale for extraction? It takes us 2 years to get there. What sort of position will Europa be in at that point for a return journey? Or are we to wait out and...
No, it's ideally your readings and other things can be done within, say, 2 Earth days, then you're not much further around the loop by then. The new models are very fuel efficient, and you should have enough to get you back. Call it a 4-year and 2-day trip, I suppose.
Understood.
And the cryogenics you mentioned, is that
Yes.
part of our mission?
Once Moore is confident that your course has been set and that no other planetary bodies, etc., should intervene with your set course, then it means that, well, you don't have to take 4 years worth of supplies. You can take 2 weeks worth. Again,
Jonny,
point and
so
shoot.
the cryogenics, like I was kind of working with the assumption this sounds like newfangled stuff. Like, would we have heard any rumors of this, or like, any
Yes,
stories, or like, reports of like, this having been tried before and what results of that? Like, how much of this is like completely brand new information? There's maybe been rumors, like, yeah.
Has Alex heard anything about tests, or as a doctor?
Make me either make me a knowledge roll, so your education stat, or a listen roll, I suppose, if you want to see if it's like rumors.
Well, I'll definitely be going for a knowledge or education, because I've got 88 in that at the base score.
Wow.
Can I do the same with listen for rumors?
Yep.
I passed with 71.
Okay.
Can I make a knowledge roll, or is that okay too? Or
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
I got a 33. My listen's 20. I think I'll leave it.
I also passed the knowledge roll with a kind of similar result to Steve.
Okay. So Steve, let's say that when you've been working, you have seen some people with sort of chill burns, like freezer burns. But this was probably not long after you got back last time. And you haven't seen anything like that recently. And you don't know that that's what that is from, but that's something that you can think, oh, maybe you never got an explanation for that, and you're kind of like, oh, maybe that's what that was.
Were there ever any special offers on meat in the canteen?
Started selling Soylent Green. Justin, Andrew,
yeah.
You kind of realize that some of the activity that you have seen, things being moved around, you kind of like, there were a couple of bits that you were thinking, oh, I wonder what that, like, where that fits on and now you're kind of thinking, oh, maybe actually it was for this cryo unit. And again,
yeah.
You've seen those bits a couple of times, but probably starting a year and a half ago or something like that. So it is something that's been going on for a little while.
Yeah,
that's what
I
that
can
was.
believe that. Like, has there been any, like, do we have how much confidence do we have? Well, how much is there generally any atmosphere of confidence around these cryogenic units, or are they so secret that no one knows anything about them? Like, is it something that we've internally gone, hey, look, we've got these new cryogenic units, they're great?
Yeah, I would say that it's certainly not any sort of public knowledge that anything is really being tested or developed about them.
Cool. Then Andrew's a bit concerned about the 1 week of food. Like, if it doesn't work out, it seems pretty bad.
maybe if we ration really carefully, we could make it stretch to 2 weeks.
4 years. Like,
In a worst case scenario, if it doesn't turn
We just
on, you could just
eat
turn
Mark.
round.
yeah, sure.
It's pulling U-turn. Yeah, that's how space works.
Just slingshot around the moon. That's what I've heard.
Well, what, if Andrew Moore can't do that, he's not even a pilot.
True.
Well, Sam
Um,
hasn't heard any of this stuff, and Sam literally named her dog Seymour from Futurama, so this is all going to be okay.
I was out of character. I was wondering whether you'd remember what you'd named your dog.
So was I.
Yeah, I mean, I also have it on my character sheet, which did remind me. I can't remember if this came up in the last session or not. That because I had like a single point to spare on something, I put it into languages Klingon because Sam is a space dog.
Nice.
So,
So-
yeah.
1% would be like you've opened Duolingo, done it for a week, and then gotten bored.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to find a lot of people like the whole kind of immersion thing. It is a bit harder, with Klingon compared to like, oh, I'm going to learn Spanish.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Well, when you're on base and stuff, like
Oh yeah, there's no Star Trek nerds in a space agency.
no, they're all proper nerds who like went to school and stuff.
Air Chief Marshal says there will be potential collaboration required with other space agencies. Certainly NASA are sending a similar group. So hopefully
on the same mission or a separate vessel.
Separate vessel, but your route should be and expected arrival time should be very similar. We've been sharing technology and such. So hopefully you will touch down at similar times and perhaps can work together, and any issues, there'll be more people to help resolve. And not that we foresee any issues, of course, but one cannot plan for every eventuality.
Presumably, Jonny, we get some like briefing papers with like the details on here's the data you need to get, here's how to contact the other crew, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
you get a comms channel, and you get sort of brief descriptions of the tools that you'll be given. And she says, well, we'll have some time over the next couple of days with our scientists for you to go through these tools also, and they will explain how to use them, but they are very simple. And the telemetry that you should expect to see, if this is proper water. Obviously, in a way, you don't really need to know that while you're there, but I imagine it will give you a boost if you see that it's a successful mission before you set off home. And you will be setting off home.
Will there be details on the cryogenics? Something needs repairing. I'm not familiar with this, not just the tools for the readings and such, but I guess this will be quite a crucial part of our ship.
There will be a manual on board, and I can organise a few hours for you, Parker, with someone over the next couple of days.
Thank you.
Oh, I'd appreciate sitting in on those too.
Very good.
Yes, I think I would like to understand the physiological effects.
All of you,
I think
then.
that would be, yes.
Likewise.
Very good. Anything else?
I noticed Flynn Evans isn't with us, ma'am. Is he all right?
Yes, just a bout of the flu, I'm afraid.
How inconvenient for him.
She gives a little smile and says, yes, or lucky for one of you four, I suppose. Dismissed.
Yeah, just head on out.
I'm not heading out. I'm going to stay behind. I have got some things I'd like to, some questions I'd like to.
You
put
crazy?
to, yeah, I'm not like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. If anyone else is looking like they're going to stay behind too, then
No, I think Gilman is fairly resigned to this crackpot.
yeah, cool.
Yes, more.
Once everyone's gone, I would like to say assuming I hope that I'm sure that you've already read my reports from the our previous flight mission, and in that I thought I made quite clear that the experience was very unsettling, and although I think we all reacted well under pressure, whatever kind of mass delusion we were all under during the experience made me question my ability to maybe do this again. I've tried to help in the last few years to make sure that other people could do this kind of mission, but I thought it was clear in what I'd said that I don't think I can be trusted given my susceptibility to whatever happened out there. I mean, maybe I don't know what your reasons are for doing this, but I just want to. There's still time to reconsider, me or any of us.
Look, you've all undergone a psyche eval, which everyone has passed more. The thing with any traumatic experience is that they could affect anyone in any way. And actually, you and your team came home. Somebody else could have reacted in a way that meant that the team didn't get home. And in fact, all of you at least once have gone through whatever happened and made it back. And actually, I think that makes you prime candidates, if you're willing.
I'm willing. I can see that it's going to be a dangerous mission, and I'm happy to volunteer for it. But if you have
I
the
have every
confidence in the
faith in
team,
you, Mo.
then I have confidence in the team too.
Good. Any concerns before you leave, please do bring them to me.
Thank you. I'll head out then.
Cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, over the next couple of days, you have some training on the tools and equipment that you will use for sort of telemetry when you are on Europa. And you also have some training on operation and sort of very rudimentary on how to fix simple things that might go wrong.
Is it turn it off and on again?
There are things like, this is the panel that deals with this thing. If this is shorted, then blah, blah, blah. It's not going, you need to rewire this to here. But like, if something kind of simple goes wrong, if something catastrophic goes wrong, but if something simple goes wrong, then you can...
Yeah, go on.
Does it look like human technology? Does it look understandable?
It's understandable. Yes. Yeah. There aren't strange runes on it or anything. Okay. You are welcome to make an appraise. Does that make sense? Or a science, if you have a relevant
like a
science
repair skill, like a mechanical or electrical repair skill. Does that make sense?
No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That would make sense.
Cool. I'm wondering if I have science. What if I have a more appropriate skill? Because I'm kind of curious. I passed that. I'm kind of curious. Like, does what I see reassure me that this technology is legit? Good. Then I feel reassured.
Has everybody? Who else has rolled? Steve, did you roll?
Go on, John.
I rolled 41 over 40, so I'm going to spend 1 luck point.
Nice.
To pass.
What was the skill you were rolling?
I used mechanical repair.
Okay.
I'm less thinking, is this alien technology? Because of course it isn't. Therapy has taught me that. But more from am I more than reasonably confident of how it would work mechanically and fixing it and maintaining it?
So I'm kind of
do I need to make a similar roll? Because I wasn't going to be questioning. I was just going to be sitting here listening. You know, this is the job now, right? This is new tech. I might have to fix.
Do you know what? Yeah, make me a mechanical repair roll as well. Steve, what did you get?
I was going to ask if I could use biology for sort of the effects on the human body.
Yeah.
Or on the body, just if you're not human.
Oh, actually, I thought that was going to be 60, which is under my 70 in mechanical repair.
Okay.
I rolled 68 over 60 for biology, so I fail.
Okay. I mean, you are being told by people that you know and probably mildly respect that work for UK base that it's okay. You know, they're people that you may not work with these people closely, but you're aware of them and you don't have any reason to think anything negative of them. You've probably been in joint meetings together with them, heard them ask reasonable,
they've not
logical, sensible questions. Yeah. No. So yeah, while you're not completely comfortable with it, probably still, it isn't, you know, it's a new thing, new science, and you maybe feel like it's been rushed to get on this mission. But these people are telling you that it's okay. So all you three who rolled on the mechanical repair, yes, you're happy that this seems to be repaired in the same way that you would expect human-made technology to be repaired, and you're comfortable that if anything were to go wrong, you would at least be able to have a good go at sorting it. So yeah, nobody rolled a half or a fifth, did they, on their stat? I don't think they did. No. Okay. Cool. So yeah, a couple of days pass and there is no further training for you from these people. You've been given a week as leeway, but she did say if you were happy to leave earlier, then great. So it's up to you if you have anything else that you want or need to do before you depart.
I will, at some point where we're all together, I will gather us together and I will say, if there is anything that we need to discuss or any concerns that any of you have, I'd like to get it out now before we step on that ship.
It's a question. How do we know how Mark got back? Was there another rescue mission?
Yes. You don't know the details of it. Unless Justin, Moore could have got access to the files as like a kind of slightly more senior person. Yeah. But you would have had to go and access them. You wouldn't have just been given a brief.
I don't think I would have done.
Okay.
I don't think I would have done. I think I would have I'm putting some distance between. I hope to have put some distance between myself and all of this tomfoolery, but they just when I thought I was out.
They push you back into a freezer.
I really, the only question for me is, are you going to be okay on this mission? When I saw you last, you didn't want to come back. You didn't trust us. You didn't want to join our mission. Has that changed? Like, we need to be a crew out there. You didn't trust us then. I need to know you trust us now. And what changed?
I didn't trust you out there because you literally came from space. Here, Chief said we'll work together. I'm good to follow orders.
Great. I don't have a problem with you. I know that it was a weird situation. You kind of got the jump on me, but you didn't hurt me. Like, there's no bad blood here. As long as you're good, I'm good.
I appreciate that.
Glad you decided to come home in the end.
Thanks. Didn't fancy dying on a rock in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, me neither.
Neither did we. You don't have any hard feelings about us going?
You did what I asked you to. It's not like you could have stuck around forever. And it won't. But if a similar situation happens where I need to be left behind for you three to get out, then for the record, needs of the many, right?
We don't need
That's
to.
not going to happen again.
It's not going to
No.
happen.
It won't, but
Hey, we're going to save the world, guys. It's a cool mission.
I'm going to look sideways at Alex. So to clarify, we're not bringing home water. We're like taking readings, right?
On this current mission, yes, you are there to confirm the presence of usable water on Europa.
Sure.
You do get sent with some. Well, you will be sent with some sample jars, which you can use to basically bring whatever. So these, when you seal them, become vacuum sealed. So there's no chance of any, if there is anything dangerous, that it
Sure.
I mean, again, this is UK
jars.
based. They're probably just sort of Tupperware boxes.
Just as 100%.
They're vacuum sealed, right?
One of those wine pumps that pump all the air.
It's a mason jar.
Oh, UK based. I feel like their reputation has just got worse and worse. I'm sure they didn't start off in this bad standing, but budget cuts, I guess.
I mean,
it was going to be an automated mission, but sending humans is cheaper. So
AI is not stupid enough to do it.
the AI is all unionized.
Yeah. So yes, you do not have to bring water home, but you could, essentially, and it may look good for
Seems
the
like a good
papers
idea.
if you were to have your little
We're
freezer
not
bag
taking
of
enough food
water
for our journey back, so maybe we can get some water at least, just in case.
Refill the water bottles with Jupiter water. Yes,
as pilot, my responsibilities in the mission are hopefully relatively clear, in that we get us there and get us back. Is anyone else responsible for the certain aspects of the mission, like say taking samples or?
That is everyone.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
there are some slightly longer range scanners built into the vessel, which you will have been shown how to operate, but so will everybody else. So if they need to be used while initiating a landing, you don't have to be responsible for trying to do two things at once. There are sort of 10 or 12 different handheld scanners that you will use theoretically when on Europa. So again, shared responsibility for those. It's a case of the crew making sure that each of the readings is taken. There's no one person responsible for those. But yeah, I think so. Like you say, your responsibility initially is piloting there and back. If when you'd landed, you wanted to, you are also, ostensibly in charge as the pilot. So if you wanted to say, each of you take 4 of these scanners and do the scanning while I perform checks on the ship for when we, that would be within your rights. I don't think anybody would question you on that if you were saying that you wanted to make sure that the vessel was safe for you to head back home. I don't think anybody's going to particularly ask you any questions about that. Parker probably again responsible for checking the cryo unit before setting off again. I would think it's reasonably sort of self-explanatory. But yeah, in terms of the actual readings and stuff when you get there, there's no one person in charge of that, unless you wanted to delegate it to somebody, which you would be within your rights to do.
No, that's cool. If Mission Control has decided not to do this, then who am I to question their wisdom?
Cool. Are you off? Are you going?
I will make arrangements for my dog to be properly adopted. Maybe your parents. Move home with parents. So if we're going for a long mission, like multiple years, and the good boy will get lots of pets. Yeah, yeah.
Will we have?
That's the only other thing from home to tie up.
What is the? I need to Google this probably, but have you happened to have worked out what the communication lag is between Europa and?
That's a good question.
Just in case. I'm going to fill this gap in the space with more blabbering, but yeah, that would be something I would want to know. Probably, just a good to know, really.
I think Alex will scribble some lines in a journal that has, it's fairly full. There's a fair amount of sort of writing in it, and he's going to post that to someone, and then clear his browser history. Yeah.
I'm just doing some maths.
But yeah, this is saying
please hold. Your journey is important.
Is half an hour to an hour-ish kind of time, so that is double that, somewhere between an hour and more than an hour.
That's fine. That's fine. Ish.
As
long as we're not using post,
Yeah, no, but it's obviously, as always, it's always quicker to send it by pigeon. Any kind of data.
We're the carrier pigeons now.
Well, yeah.
I really hope that UK space will still be operating in 4 years' time. Or 2 years' time when the mission's happening.
Oh, God.
Have you seen the financials?
When do they need the water is the question,
Yeah. I mean,
what if the shut down while we're out there?
I mean, to be honest, it probably will be the case that as soon as we start heading back, they'll send this next mission, As soon as we can send them the information. Maybe. If they're intelligent about it.
I'm gonna say about 2 to 3 hours.
Thank you.
But again, it's a rough estimation, and also sort of hoping that you're not almost eclipsed by another. You need to have
sure.
We haven't had
line of
any,
sight to Earth.
unscheduled eclipses in
storm,
our history.
that kind of thing. So what I'm hearing from this is that no point bringing something to play video games with because the ping isn't going to be very good.
Yeah, the online DRM just locks you out as soon as you leave orbit.
Okay, dog sitting is arranged. Anything else?
Can I ask how Seymour has reacted to? I know this is out of character, but has Seymour been fine with Sam?
I don't know. Has my dog? Does my dog still love me?
Seymour was very hesitant at first. Much as the first day, if a dog is being sort of looked after at somebody else's house, they will be hesitant. Then they'll kind of settle in, and they'll still be looking forward to their owner coming back, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, out of character. Oh no! Oh my god!
Emotional damage.
Never put a dog on your character sheet, guys.
But yeah, I mean, Sam treats the dog wonderfully.
Moving on.
Okay.
I have no special arrangements. I don't think. It's letting my parents know that I'm being deployed. I don't know what exact term I'd use, but I'll be away on work and largely uncontactable for 4 years. Don't expect me for Christmas.
Or the next 4 Christmases.
Or the next 4 Christmases.
Yeah. I think it's probably been hard to keep ties following the strange thing. So what little ties Moore has will be wrapped up satisfactorily.
Okay. Cool. So you prepare for launch. We'll say it's 3 days after, so the 6th of December. And Justin, can you make a pilot roll for me, please?
You're on mute, but please botch.
Pilot spacecraft, I assume.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, I got 85. I need under 40, so it's not off to a good start.
Left the handbrake on.
Okay. You have all been in at least 2 takeoffs before. This is the rockiest takeoff that you have been a part of. Moore hasn't piloted one of these particular vessels before.
It's the new Mark 3s.
There's also a little bit of extra weight with the cryo unit. Maybe he's kind of setting off and thinking of these things in his head. But you do leave the atmosphere safely. It is just turbulent.
Yes, these new Mark 3s, I'll have to tell them that they need some adjustments.
So you spend a little while setting the course. The scientists who trained you with the cryo unit basically explained how to set it so that the ship's scanners could basically deactivate. You could set it for like an amount of time as like a long stop, but the scanners can also trigger when to turn it off based on scanning when you're approaching a celestial body or your target celestial body. And I mean, if you're approaching any celestial body, you probably want it to wake you up. But theoretically, it's when you're approaching your target celestial body. So you kind of, once you've set your course, I would imagine, as a group, go through making sure that you think you've followed along these things correctly. The general advice was to wait until you have passed the moon to put yourselves into cryo, and through the asteroid belt and all that kind of stuff, just making sure that you're past that initial, once things become a bit more open, you're then kind of able to do that a bit more comfortably. So you spend the first sort of 2.5-3 days following a day-night cycle as much as possible. Anybody doing anything else in that time? Not much to do, I suppose, other than the usual routine maintenance.
I mean, if there's if we get a view of the moon as we're going, I'd be kind of interested in just having a look, just to see.
Sure.
Whether there's anything.
Wave out the window.
There is nothing obviously untoward that you can see.
We having keep having a lot of regular contact with mission control.
You keep them updated. They keep you updated on sort of long range scanner things, any sort of comets or asteroids that are moving around, and for the most part,
I'll make sure to send back any data about our flight so far.
Yeah, all reasonably, without a hitch. You make it through the asteroid belt with a couple of little pings off the tiny little bits of space dust rather than large rocks. And then you basically you clear the moon. There is nothing obviously untoward that you can see about the moon from where you are. And you reach the point where you think, you've probably gone through, let's say you've gone through 15% of your rationing, which is reasonable. You've maybe been a little light on it, in an attempt to assuage any worries about how much of it there is. And then presumably you're going to get into the cryo units.
Yeah, I think any spare time that there's been over these few days, Sam will have been, rereading the manuals and kind of wanting to make sure that, there's been very little time to really get to grips with this new technology and just the mechanic on the ship. So any of that, but to feel a bit more confident about it. But otherwise getting them set up and ready to go.
Cool. Right, everybody climbs in. And plans for a long sleep. And maybe that's a good time for us to have a little break. Yes, I think that's a good time for us to have a little break.
If we don't start again, you'll know why.
So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll just go grab a drink and stuff. So we will see you shortly.